Alright, so the stream should be live. Let me see. Everything looks good. Settings look good. Microphone audio looks good. F. Random Mankey does not look good. Alright, look. Let me pause real quick just so I can actually sort all this out. Did my computer settings change or something? Everything looks slightly different. They did. Whatever. There might have been an automatic update I wasn't aware of. So everything looks like it's good. So hey! What's going on, everybody? Late stream! Existential Turtle on Twitch. I'm a variety streamer, and I like to play video games and talk about stuff. So I'm getting a late start today. And I don't have that long to stream. But I like to stream a little bit every day. Whether or not I do anything that important or not is, you know, debatable. But tonight, because I'm not really in the mood to actually play Hitman right now, as much as I love the game. And Destiny hasn't been working out for me so well the last few times I've tried to play because it like won't connect me to the Destiny server properly and I keep getting kicked out of games. I decided just to load into Pokemon and just do this thing I've been doing off stream, like during break at work and lunch at work and when I have a few free minutes here and there. I've just been wandering around this grass field looking for Charmanders with a lure active and a 31 catch combo already achieved in hopes that I'll actually be able to find a shiny Charmander. So, yeah. I've been doing this for quite a bit of time, if you add up all the time I've been doing it. And no luck so far. But, you know, the thing about shiny hunting is it's never easy or fast. So, might as well stick with it and see if something cool can happen. So the trick is that, from what I understand, is once you get a 31 catch combo and you have a lure active, in this field in particular, you pretty much almost always have a Charmander up. I mean, generally there's a Charmander up. Occasionally you have to just get rid of one of the other random Pokemon. You can have 4 Pokemon on the ground and I think 3 or 4 in the air. And generally there's usually a Charmander. Occasionally, yeah, see, look, I got rid of that Sandshrew and a Charmander popped up. And then once you cycle through Charmander, you generally get a good number of Charmanders before you eventually have to get rid of like another Sandshrew or another Spearow. Generally. Not 100% guaranteed. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to go through as many Charmanders as possible in the hopes that with the 31 catch combo and with my lure active, that I will be able to get a shiny Charmander. Now I try to check the skies too because Charizards do spawn up there, so it's always slightly possible that I could just get a shiny Charizard or a shiny Dragonite to spawn in. And I would take either of those too. I just wish there was a way of getting on and off Charizard a little faster than going through the pause menu. So, you know, the fact that, okay, there we go. The fact that there wasn't a Charmander, that actually was probably the longer of times I've gone without a Charmander on screen. In the many hours I've done this. Now again, I haven't done this like many hours in a row. I just tend to leave my, I tend to not turn off the game, but I go into like power saver mode. Charge the Switch, and then when I have a little bit of free time here and there, like 30 minutes for lunch at work, you know, 15-minute break, you know, if I have just a few minutes to kill at my apartment, I'll just load up Pokemon while I'm watching a movie, and just, try to only encounter Charmanders. It's a really, the first I researched and read about shiny hunting in this game and how it was gonna work, I actually thought it was going to be really cool and really efficient, but I feel like it's 10 times worse than it used to be, just as a result of the fact that a lot of other Pokemon besides Charmander are spawning on this route. So like, when you bred for shinies in older games, yeah, you may have had a pretty small, you know, shiny rate, even with a shiny charm. But, I mean, you could still control what Pokemon you encountered. So, like, if you were breeding for a shiny Charmander, for example, like I've done in numerous Pokemon games, you literally just breed Charmanders. So you don't have to worry about encountering random Mankeys, random Spearows, you know, all these other cornucopia Pokemon, random Rattatas. So all this work that I'm going through to try to run into a random shiny Charmander, I could run into a random shiny Rattata after all that work. And that's a bit of a bummer to me, because it may have taken, you know, a lot of time when hatching eggs on the 3DS or any of the handhelds, but at least you had control over what shiny you could stumble upon. In this game, though, there's literally no control, because there's no egg breeding. Also, supposedly, the chance for shiny to spawn as a shiny with a 31 catch combo and a lure active is supposed to be, I think, like 1 in 315-ish, give or take. And I'm just going to say it right now. I've gone through thousands of Charmanders at this point, and thousands of other random spawn Pokemon. You know, Charizards, Psyducks, Rattatas, Spearows, Mankeys, and no shinies whatsoever. So I understand how ratios work. It's not like, you know, if I have a 1 in 315 chance, that means within 315 I'm going to get it. That's not what ratios mean. It just means that on average, theoretically, every Pokemon that spawns would have a 1 in 315 chance of spawning as a shiny. Now, that already doesn't sound like great odds, but compared to normal old shiny odds, like 1 in 4,000, that's glorious. But at the same time, I've gone through thousands and thousands and thousands of Pokemon without running into a shiny. So, like, I understand why mathematically, but I also this means I have shitty luck, because mathematically speaking, I should have at least run into a shiny at this point. Not necessarily the shiny I'm looking for. Like, I'd be very surprised if I ran into a shiny Charmander, which is what I want. But theoretically, I should have ran into a shiny something by now. And nothing. So, my spirits are dampening a little bit. Like, I miss the old-fashioned breeding version of hatching for shinies. Because it would at least guarantee that eventually I would get it, because I'd only be hatching that Pokemon. You know, no random Rattatas spawning with a 1 in 315 chance of being a shiny. I don't care if I ever get a shiny Rattata. There are a handful of shiny Pokemon I do love. And then there's a bunch of shinies, which, honestly, are pointless. Like, shiny Pikachu, for example. It's just like a slightly brighter yellow, I believe, which is pointless. Shiny Spearow and Fearow, the coloration is so marginal that, like, nobody would really even notice unless they knew what they were looking for. Shiny Charmander, to that extent, is barely even noticeable. It's slightly more yellow gold than red. But the whole point of getting a shiny Charmander, it's the whole selling point, is when you evolve that Charmander into a Charizard, its skin is black as opposed to red, which is honestly really cool. Like, it looks like a badass. And in every Pokemon game over the past few generations that I've played, I've hatched for a shiny Charmander because I love shiny Charizard. So I'm going to try to get a shiny Charmander in this game too. I seriously doubt I'll be getting it on stream, if I even get it at all. Alright, it's like, oh, okay, I was going to start getting rid of some of these randos. Another option I could potentially have that I haven't really done that often, a little bit, is I could leave the route and come back if I'm having too many Pokemon on the field and none of them are Charmanders. I could just go a little bit right to Cerulean City, come back in, and it'll refresh all the Pokemon that are spawned. And because I have the 31 catch combo and the lure active, there's a pretty good chance that a Charmander is going to spawn. Like, that sound, I just heard a Charmander. Also, yeah, their sound is very distinctive. But yeah, like I said, I've had very little luck, and my hopes have dampened a little bit, but I've done shiny hunting before. Never quite like this. Like, I've never shiny hunted in the wild. I've always shiny hunted through breeding. But I'm still hopeful. Like, and I'm not going to quit. Like, I've shiny hunted before, and it's taken many, many, many hours. I just feel like with the increased ratio, I should have ran into something by now. So that's what's really dampening my spirits more than anything else. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, okay. So if anybody is watching this, more than likely on YouTube, I just had a bunch of Charmanders pop up in a row. Because Charmanders, generally, there must be some kind of priority given to Charmanders spawning if you have a 31 catch rate and a lure active, at least on this route. Because I've noticed that, like, once there's a free spot for a Pokemon to spawn, there's a good chance that if there isn't a Charmander, there will be a Charmander that spawns. Now, in all the hours I've done this, I've never gotten 2 Charmanders on the field at the same time. So this is why every time I see a Charmander pop up on the field, I encounter it immediately. Because encountering it and then running away from it doesn't break my 31 catch combo, but it does get rid of that Charmander and give a good chance for another Charmander to spawn. Not a guaranteed chance, but a good chance. And that Charmander, according to the math that I've researched, will have a 1 in 315 chance of being a shiny. Alright, no Charmanders so far. Oh, there we go. Also, encountering the Charmander and getting rid of it just gives you potential for more Charmander interactions, so in spite of the fact that all these other random Pokemon are popping up, I'm going to try to get as many Charmander interactions in as possible. Now, from everything I've researched, this is probably the best way I would ever go about getting a shiny Charmander. So, in spite of all the hours I've already put into this, with no luck whatsoever, this is gonna be my method. Once I get the shiny Charmander, oh, I'm gonna be happy. I think I know what the next shiny Pokemon I'm gonna go after will be, and that one will also be annoying and probably will take many, 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 many hours and attempts. But I look forward to at least trying for something different, because I've been on this route for a good chunk of time. But the next Pokemon I'm going to try to shiny is Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave, which is just on this route, actually. So I already know exactly where Mewtwo is. I've swam by him a couple of times. So, like, I know exactly where to go. Ah, freaking Psyduck. There we go. Ah, lure. I bought hundreds of lures, and I've gone through hundreds of lures. So, hopefully I can get one in the next 200 lures, because I think that's how many more I have. Terrible. There we go. But yeah, the next one I'm going to go for is a shiny Mewtwo, which will probably take even longer than this shiny Charmander is taking. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. Come on, Charmander. Are you a Charmander? No, you're a Spearow. Damn it. Okay, well, I need to get rid of a Pokemon anyway, so that works out. Sometimes Charmander just doesn't spawn quickly, and you have to get rid of some Pokemon. So I'll get rid of this Psyduck. Now, unfortunately, because I'm going for a shiny Charmander, here's the thing that sucks for me. If I were to somehow randomly stumble upon like a shiny Mankey, for example, or a shiny Rattata, or a shiny Spearow, I don't think I would catch it. I think I would let it go. Specifically because I'm here only. I don't care about those as shinies. Like, I literally don't ever care if I have a shiny Rattata. I'm never going to use it. But also, if I caught a shiny Rattata or a shiny Spearow, I would have to get a 31 catch combo again, because that would break my 31 catch combo. And that, while it doesn't sound that annoying, would take like 40 plus minutes. And that, I don't want to do that again. Like, not unless I'm going for another different Pokemon. So, I'm going for a shiny Charmander and a shiny Charmander alone on this route. With the notable exception of if I do happen to just see a shiny Dragonite in the air, or a shiny Charizard, I will go after one of those. But, because a shiny Charizard would basically be the same thing as a shiny Charmander, only I wouldn't have to raise it from a Charmander to a Charizard. So if anything, it would almost be a time saver. But a shiny Dragonite, I love shiny Dragonite. Just a green-skinned Dragonite. So I would love that too. So even though that wouldn't be the Pokemon I'd be going for, I would go after that. The odds of catching it would be low, unfortunately. Because it's a Dragonite. But I have a bunch of golden raspberries, a bunch of Ultra Balls, and I would give it a try. Hopefully I wouldn't fail. If I did fail, I'd have to get my 31 catch combo back. And it would be a wasted catch combo. Alright, another Charmander. Every single time I look for that little yellow hue, and every single time my heart breaks a little bit. Even though you can tell beforehand whether they're shiny or not, I still hope I missed it. Like, they have a star effect that spawns around them in the overworld, if they are a shiny. I've never seen it firsthand, but I have seen it on YouTube videos. And it's pretty recognizable, but also the shiny spawns in as their color. So I would see kind of a yellow-gold Charmander in the overworld as opposed to just a, you know, a red-orange Charmander. But I still always hope I missed it, and then maybe it was still secretly a shiny. Ah, there we go. But yeah, I've done this for many hours now with no luck. And I keep hoping. I keep hoping. So this is pretty much just going to be my stream for the night. It's just me encountering random Charmanders, hoping that they're going to be shiny. So it's not going to be a very exciting stream, but it's going to be the stream that I'm going to be given. And to be honest, I might do this kind of a stream for the next, at least until I get a shiny Charmander. Because like I've been saying over the past few streams I've been doing, because of my work schedule, it's hard for me to stream as long as I want to lately. Probably not until January. So I don't really have the time to get into any big new games like I want to, because I have a bunch of games I would love to be playing right now on stream. Like, I'd love to do a replay of Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4. That's just the tip of the iceberg right there. DC Lego Super Villains, I think that's what it's called. I'd love to play that. Skyrim, Fallout 4. Like, I have no shortage of games I would love to play. Mass Effect Andromeda. But those are the kind of games where I really like to... I don't like to sit down for like 45 minutes to an hour and a half and then have to stop playing. Those are the kind of games where I like to like make a day of it. So it's like I sit down and then like 4 or 5 hours later, it's like, okay, I've really absorbed that game for the day. So, you know, I enjoyed myself. I really took in the story. I immersed myself, as it were. But I don't have that much time this month because of work. So I've been playing a lot of casual games, or what I consider to be casual games, lately on stream. So I've been trying to play Destiny 2. I was playing a lot of Destiny 2, and then this week, the multiplayer aspect hasn't been working for me. Well, it hasn't been working very well. But that was a go-to casual game for me because I love to play it, but I don't really get invested whenever I play it. You know, I could pick up Destiny 2 for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then just put it down and shrug my shoulders. Like, you know, I had fun, but I can stop playing. And I won't lose any sleep or be upset or anything. Pokemon, for example, like, I love this game. I adore this game. But, you know, if I pick this up for like 15 minutes at a time and then put it down, I'm okay with that. So doing this for a short stream is a good short stream game. Hitman, depending on what I'm doing in Hitman, like escalations, if I'm going after specific challenges, those could be potentially good short casual streams where I can just pick up the game, try to do what I can, and then if I don't, cool, and if I do, cool. But yeah, the bigger games, I just don't feel like I have the time investment to really play them right now, as much as I want to. So yeah, probably for the foreseeable streams, until I get a shiny Charmander, I'm going to be shiny hunting in Pokemon. So they won't be very exciting streams, especially right now without a chat. Oh, I got a shiny. No, I gotta stop saying shiny. I got a Dragonite and a Charizard up there. They're probably not shiny, but it was worth looking into it. Because what if they were shiny? That would have been amazing. And a golden raspberry would bump up my chance to catch one of those dudes. Pretty high. Golden raspberry combined with the double catch method using an Ultra Ball, I would have a pretty decent chance of catching one. Because golden raspberries are apparently what people use for legendaries, and I've managed to catch legendaries without a golden raspberry. And I have a bunch of golden raspberries now, because I know a good spot to farm for them on this route. I can just go into Cerulean Cave, and if I go up one floor in Cerulean Cave, or maybe it's down one floor, either way, if I go through a ladder on the first level of Cerulean Cave, I get to a room with a bunch of shiny spots, glowing spots. And interacting with those glowing spots can get you rare items. So golden raspberries being one of them. And they have a pretty good drop rate. Golden raspberries, pinapberries, the other one. I've gotten a couple of dome fossils to spawn there, which, from what I understand, is pretty rare, so that's pretty cool. I can even get things like Ultra Balls, Pokeballs. Supposedly there's a Master Ball. I have not gotten a Master Ball. But supposedly the Master Ball has a very slight chance of being just a random item you could find in that cave. Which would be pretty cool, to be honest. I would happily take a second Master Ball. There aren't really that many uses for Master Balls in this game, because catching Pokemon isn't exactly the most difficult thing in the world, but a Master Ball would be a nice thing to have for like emergencies. For example, like if I run into a shiny Pokemon and I'm having trouble catching it, like let's say I throw a bunch of balls and it's just not working, unless it's a legendary, I believe there's a really good chance that any other Pokemon will just run away, so you'll lose the shiny. So it would be nice to have Master Balls for the event of like if I throw like 3 or more Ultra Balls at a Charmander that's shiny and it's not working, I might just say screw it and throw a Master Ball just to guarantee that I get the shiny Charmander. As much as I wouldn't want to waste a Master Ball like that, to get a shiny, especially after the amount of time I put into it, I would. I absolutely would. And I do have one Master Ball. I was saving it for Mewtwo. I don't want to use it on Mewtwo. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather catch Mewtwo in like a Premier Ball or an Ultra Ball or something. Premier Ball would be the ideal, because that'd be awesome. But Shiny Mewtwo would be my ideal dream. So, yeah, Shiny Mewtwo and a Premier Ball would be the dream. Who knows how long that'll take, or even if that'll happen. Because if I am lucky enough to reset for a Shiny Mewtwo in the future, and I actually get one, the odds of me getting it in a Premier Ball are almost nothing. So I will just go through all my Premier Balls at that point, hope for the best, see what happens. I swear I just heard a Charmander. Ah, there it is. I love that Charmander has a very distinctive sound. It may be a little annoying after hours of hearing it, but it's very easy to tell when a Charmander spawns, which is what I really like about that sound. So if I don't see it pop up on the screen, like if it pops up on the left over there, like I should hear it, theoretically. That would be the ultimate, like, happy moment if, while I'm streaming, a shiny Charmander were to pop up. Like, I would probably flip out. In a good way. But yeah, I would probably flip out. Nope. Ah, there we go. Like, no Charmander sounds. I was gonna give it a few more seconds and then get rid of some of those random Pokemon. As much as I try not to encounter any other Pokemon but Charmander, sometimes it just happens. Like, sometimes they just run into you and you can't avoid them. Sometimes there's already 4 Pokemon on the ground and a Charmander can't spawn in. So you just have to get rid of a Mankey, you have to get rid of a Sandshrew. But yeah, like I said, if I run into a shiny Charmander, I will flip out. If I run into a shiny Charizard or Dragonite, I'll flip out. Also, if I do run into a shiny Dragonite or Charizard by some magical happenstance, it's not very likely, but if it were to happen, and I didn't get them after a few Ultra Balls, I would probably just throw the Master Ball. Some people would probably call that a waste of a Master Ball. I wouldn't. But I would not want to chance it at that point. Master Ball all the way. Because shiny hunting in this game feels like it's just so much more time consuming. At least if you're going after a rare or shiny. Like if I were going after a shiny Caterpie, I could with a 315 chance of every single Caterpie or Metapod spawning as a shiny in Viridian Forest, with the sheer number of Pokemon that can spawn on screen at any given time, I can pretty much guarantee I would have ran into one by now. Like, not 100%, but I can pretty much guarantee the odds are fantastic that I would have after the amount of time I put into it. So, like, if I'm going after Pokemon that spawn like crazy and are not hard to run into or get, that's then, you know, that's all well and good. That's cool. But Charmanders, like Dratinis, I imagine, like anything with a low spawn rate, it's going to be really hard to actually encounter one of those with this new method of shiny hunting. Even with the increased chance of them spawning as a shiny, the fact that they don't spawn as frequently as other Pokemon hurts the odds a little bit, if that makes any sense. Like that Mankey could have been shiny, and would have, well, theoretically, even if a Mankey was shiny, it wouldn't hurt the odds of any Charmander being shiny. Because just because I get a shiny right now doesn't mean that all the hours I put in have been wasted. Even though that's what it'll feel like, that's not what it means. Because every Pokemon that spawns has that same chance. So, like, I could theoretically get a shiny Mankey to spawn, it'll despawn, and then theoretically, a shiny Charmander could spawn in, like, seconds later. That could happen. Mathematically, it probably never will, but it could happen. Because the odds are possible. I just wish Shiny had a special sound, too, so I could hear, like, the shiny sparkles or something. Like, I wish that gave off a sound effect. Because that Dragonite, for example, I can't see it. I can only see its shadow, so I can't tell if it's shiny or not until I fly up there. It is not. But then now I have to go through the pause menu again, just so I could get off Charizard, so I could encounter this Charmander. So I wish there were like a shortcut I could push to just let me get on and off my mount. That would actually make this go a lot faster. Well, maybe not faster, but more efficient. Because at least then I wouldn't have to worry about whether or not I'm missing a shiny up in the air. Which it's entirely possible in all these hours that I've done this that I have missed a shiny Dragonite or a shiny Charizard. Patrick just messaged me on Xbox. I will have to read that later. I wonder if he's messaging me about the new Avengers trailer. I messaged him about that this morning. Wanted to get his opinion on it because, yeah, the new, by the way, anyone watching this on YouTube, because I don't think anybody's watching right now, on Twitch, The Avengers 4 trailer dropped today. So yeah, official, let's timestamp this video right now. That means today's December 7th, 2018. Yeah, the Avengers 4 trailer dropped. And it's the first view any of us got after the events of Infinity War in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, for anyone who didn't see Infinity War, big stuff happened at the end that kind of reshaped the Marvel Universe a little bit. Shook everything up. And so this trailer was a very exciting big deal for those of us that consider ourselves comic book nerds, or superhero nerds, or MCU fans. It was a huge deal, actually. Even though it didn't show much, I actually still thought it was pretty kick-ass. Because trailers give away too much nowadays, which bugs me. So I think what things should be are more teasers than anything else. Like, whet the appetite, give you at least a vague idea of what's going on or the tone, but don't really give anything away like most trailers seem to do. And I feel like this, if we got nothing else but this, I would already be pretty happy. Obviously, they're going to give us more trailers. But I like that it didn't really tell you anything, while also showing you quite a bit. Like, I actually love that it did that. Like, it gave us our first view of Hawkeye in a world post Thanos' thing. Which nobody even knew if Hawkeye was alive or not, so that was already a big deal just right there. It really established a tone for the movie, a very somber, dark tone. Like, with all of the heroes kind of being in a pretty bad place, which is appropriate. But also, it just showed us something, which is, I think, enough to get everybody who saw Infinity War out to the theaters to see what they're calling Endgame. Which is very aptly titled, I think. Alright, Charmander, get out of here. Please let me get a shiny Charmander one day video game. Oh, it hurts so much, like, every time it isn't. It normally wouldn't, but because I've done this for so much of a cumulative amount of time, it's just getting annoying. It's like, you can only shiny hunt for so long before eventually your spirit just kind of starts to wane a little bit. And only somebody who's actually shiny hunted before, or even hunted for anything rare in a video game, it could be any video game, only somebody who's done that would really understand what I'm talking about. So, like, if you farmed for the perfect item in a video game, or if you've specifically played Pokemon and you farmed for shinies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it can get repetitive, it can get exhausting, it can get tedious, it can get a little soul-crushing after a while, just doing the same thing over and over again with no actual positive results. Like, I've gone through at least 100+ lures doing this, minimum. Because I think I started out with 69 lures, because I think that number made me laugh. And I went through all of them. Max lures, by the way, so $900 a pop. And after I went through all those, I had to go to the shop, and I spent like $260,000 on like 290 lures. And I'm down to about 200 lures now. 210. So that means I've gone through like 150, 160 max lures in the time I've shiny hunted. Now, shiny lures are controlled just like repels always have been. Like, if I stood in the same place and didn't move, the lure would last forever. So it's controlled by steps. The more I walk around or fly around, the faster the lure goes away. Now, for the first few hours I was shiny hunting, I was staying in the air. And I wasn't really moving around that much, so I wasn't going through that many lures. And then I did a little bit of research just to make sure I wasn't, like, doing it wrong. And I wasn't doing it wrong. But I've in my research, I discovered that this is a much better way of doing it. Walking around a lot and encountering all these Charmanders is supposedly a much better way of shiny hunting. And I'm going to keep saying supposedly until I get a shiny, because, like, yeah, I've seen people get shinies on videos that they could have edited it down. Like, I don't know how long that took them. Like, one video, the guy claimed, like, it took him less than an hour to get a shiny Charmander. And I'm like, that's cool for you. Maybe that's true. Or maybe you're just saying that to get views. I don't know. But all I know is I've put many hours into this and nothing. But Galaxy Quest, never give up, never surrender, even if it is annoying as hell. Now, the only downside right now about my shiny hunting versus when I'm shiny hunting off stream is when I'm shiny hunting off stream, I'm doing this exact same thing, only I have like a movie or a TV show on in the background for me to kind of lose myself to while I'm looking for shiny Pokemon. And because I'm streaming, I can't exactly have a movie or a TV show on for numerous reasons. For one, like copyright issues, like I'd get sued or something. But also, well, mainly that. Otherwise, I probably would. Pretty much only that. So, as a result of that, like, I can't even have music on or I'll get, like, sued or something. I'll get, like, copyright notices. Like, you're not legally allowed to play that. So I just kind of... I was hoping that I'd get some people in chat and they would keep me company while I did this, so it'd make it a little more fun. Unfortunately, nobody in chat so far, which, it happens. I've had many, many, many streams in the, like, almost 5 months now that I've been streaming, where I've had, like, no viewers. It happens. I'm a small streamer, and always will be. But, like, this would be better if I had, like, one person chatting to me. Oh well, c'est la vie. I'm not gonna lose any sleep. And again, if I get a shiny Charmander, you're gonna see, like, the happiest version of me you'll probably ever see. But the odds of that, the odds are just so negligible, it's probably not gonna happen. I am a realist. I'm not being a defeatist. I'm not being, you know, a Debbie Downer. I'm literally just being a realist based off of the math and the information I have presented to me. And also my personal experience with this particular shiny hunt. The odds are I'm probably not going to run into it, even with all the time I put into searching. At least not on stream. But that would be amazing. Oh, I've heard that so much over the past few days. I'm gonna bring my Switch to work tomorrow so that on lunch I could do this. So it'll be 30 minutes of me sitting in my car, like listening to a movie while I hunt for a shiny Charmander. I love my puppy. Just going in circles. Well, he was going in circles. Do you recognize the fact that I have a camera pointed at you, buddy? JD, how'd you get your blanket up there? Oh my god. How'd you do that to all the blankets? That's the couch that we share together. He tends to sit there, and I tend to sit there. I love you, JD. And today, it's been moderately chilly, so he's been wrapping. Well, I've been wrapping him up in blankets, and then he's been kind of extra wrapping himself up in a blanket to stay warm. It's been adorable. and we've just been watching movies, pretty much. At least in what little free time we did have. Ah, alright. Alright, so you get lucky sometimes on the Pokemon in the air, and sometimes you can actually just see them if you move up forward enough. So that actually makes it so I don't have to fly up there to see if any of them are shiny. But most of the time you don't get lucky and they stay in the north part. Ooh. Like that Charizard, I might be able to see his tail because he's actually low enough. And if it's a black tail, I'm gonna catch that thing. Yeah, see, it's an orange tail. You can just barely see it in the... Well, you could just barely see it. But I can't see Dragonite. Dragonite is orange, so that's not what I'm looking for. Ah! I didn't hear it pop in. You know, I was saying when I first started playing this game to some of the people in my chat that part of me wishes that, a huge part of me, wishes that with the modern advances in technology, video games, the ability to store audio data, that they just replace all of the 8-bit sounds that they have for Pokemon with the actual sounds from the TV shows. Like, you know, how Pikachu actually says Pikachu. You know, Eevee actually makes the sound that Eevee makes in the cartoon. You know, it'd be cool if you run into a Charmander and he's actually like, char, char. Like, that'd be really cool. But this is one of those rare times where I'm actually happy they aren't doing that. Only for the fact that because I've been shiny hunting for so long, and I've had to hear the blah blah for so long, it's pretty easy to filter out the blah blah after a while, but I feel like if every 10 seconds I was hearing char char, I'd want to put my fist through my television. I could be wrong, maybe I would find it adorable, but I feel like it would get old real fast. Char char! As adorable as I think Charmander is, and as much as I love the Charmander sound, I feel like if that's what I heard non-stop, my brain would break more than it already has. And for anybody watching this on YouTube, because I don't think anybody's even watching this live, I am not hunting for a perfect IV Charmander, like shiny Charmander. I am just going after a shiny. So the 31 catch combo I have, I just went for the easiest 31 catch combo I could possibly get because I don't care about IVs. I never really have. It's always cool when I get good IVs. Like, yeah, that's awesome. I recognize how useful IVs can be in a Pokemon game. But I've never cared. Not lies, Rainbash. Also, welcome, Rainbash. How you doing today? Yeah, so I just went for a 31 catch combo in Caterpie. Because it's you run into like 10,000 of them in Viridian Forest, and they are the easiest Pokemon to catch in the game. You throw a Pokeball, and you'll probably catch one. Just checking in for a tick before I go offline for 2 days. Oh, well, what you doing for 2 days? Rainbash, you going out of town or something? Going on vacation? Taking the fam somewhere? Like going on a road trip? I'm just throwing out a bunch of random speculation. You don't have to tell me. But in any case, thanks for stopping by before you go offline for 2 days. I really appreciate that. You stopped in on what I would probably consider to be a relatively tame stream. All I'm doing is what you're seeing on screen right now. I'm just running around, encountering Charmanders, trying to find a shiny. A funeral out of town. I'm very sorry to hear that. Was it, well, you don't have to, I'm not going to ask. I'm very sorry to hear that, though, that somebody you care about died. Were you close to them? Or was it like an acquaintance kind of funeral? Or was it like a really close kind of funeral? both are bad, but I mean, one is worse than the other. Like, I've been to a couple funerals in my life. Once to a family member that I spent a lot of time with growing up, and that one... Oh, no, twice to family members that I've spent a lot of time with growing up. One was my grandmother, and the other was my father. And those were pretty rough. And then the other funeral I went to was a person I loosely knew, but I wasn't that close to. I was sad, but it wasn't the same as, like, my grandmother or my father's funeral. Which was, for me anyway, genuinely heartbreaking. But I'm very sorry to hear that, though. Oh, the wife's grandfather, okay. He was old and sick, best result for everyone, and he wasn't a nice person to my wife's family, etc. Okay. It's still sad because he was family, but I see what you're saying. And yeah, I hate funerals too, man. I've been to... Like, I know there are probably more funerals in my future, but I feel like I've been to enough funerals in my life already, and I don't ever want to go to another one. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I hate funerals. But I'm very sorry to hear that nonetheless. Even if he wasn't a nice person to your wife's family, you know, he was still family, and that's unfortunate. Been to 3, 2 grandparents... and my dad's best mate. Oh. 2 grandparents. I only went to one of my grandparents' funerals. My other... Let's see. My other grandmother... I think I was too young when she died, so I don't think they brought me to the funeral, and also even if they had, I wouldn't have remembered. My grandfather... on my father's side was a terrible human being, and my mother didn't want to go to his funeral, and I lived with her because my mother and my father were separated, so I didn't end up going to the funeral either because I didn't have a ride, and I was like 6 years old or something. And my mother's father died not too long before I was born, so I didn't get to go to his, but everything I've been told... I would have loved him, and I would have gotten along with him like nobody else. I'm named after him, so theoretically, supposedly we have the same sense of humor, me and that grandfather, and apparently we look the same too. Dad's maid worked in a cemetery, had a heart attack while digging out a grave. I almost don't know how to feel about that one. There is a certain irony to that. There's also a certain sadness to that, too. Like, there's actually a real sad aura to dying while at work. That's one of my biggest fears in life, Rainbash, actually, is that I'm gonna die at my job. Like, it'd be one thing if I loved my job or loved what I did, but I've said this on many streams, and you've probably heard me say it before, too. I hate and despise what I do. And I hate the company I work for. I hate my job. So if I die at work... that's just going to be the biggest effing downer of my life. Like, and it's going to be the last downer of my life. But that's going to break my heart in the few moments I'm going to have to realize, like, oh shit, I'm dying at work. But that's terrible. Like, I'd rather die just at home, sitting on a couch or something. Like, I don't think that would be that bad. Maybe it'd be lonely, but it wouldn't be that bad. I'll be here a couple minutes, but then gotta go, just waiting for wife and car. Again, thanks for stopping by, and Rainbash, my condolences to you and your entire family, whether you were close or not, whether your wife was close to him or not, it's still family, so yeah, my condolences, and just drive safe. Like, always just stay safe everywhere you go, especially in nowadays world. People are crazy. Like, people don't know how to drive anymore, and, like, everyone's running lights and crashing into other cars, and just stay safe. Always #1 priority. And now, if I remember correctly, you're in... Oh yeah, okay, see you, man. I was gonna say, like, you're in Australia, right? I think you're in Australia, but in any case, yeah, have a good one. Peace. I know what you were typing. Every time you typed Nate, I knew what you meant. Yeah, you have a good one too, mate. It's a phrase I used to say all the time because I have a couple of British friends. But I stopped saying it a couple years ago. Oh, gotta use another lure. So now I feel really shitty. Yeah, okay, Australia. Because he's going to a genuine, like, tragedy of a function, and I'm here farming for shiny Pokemon. Like, what the hell am I doing with my life that's so important? Like, what he's doing is so much more important. Like, it really puts things in perspective sometimes. Yeah, you do your best to have a good one, man. So yeah, if there were anyone else in chat, I would be telling them to send some love to Rainbash right now, but I know there's nobody else in chat. But yeah, hopefully he stays safe. I'm sure he will. Seems like a smart guy. Actually, he seems like a really cool guy, too. I've only had a few interactions with Rainbash on Twitch, but every conversation I've had with him has been just very civil, very nice. He seems to be a pretty intelligent human being. I've had a few people pop into my chats over the past 5 months who have been the exact opposite. I won't throw out names, and they aren't regulars, so it's not like anyone who regularly watches my channel. I'm not talking about any of them. I'm talking about just like random people who hopped in one time and then never hopped in again. I've had a couple of people hop in to my streams, and they've just immediately started typing like racist crap or sexist crap or even just making fun of like the crap I'm playing. And it's just like, what's the point in that? Like I've had a lot of that actually in the 5 months that I've streamed. Probably at least half a dozen times I've had people just hop into my stream, essentially trolls. But yeah, just hop into my stream and just start typing things to get a reaction out of me or out of people. None of them have gotten any like genuine negative reactions out of me, though I have like stood up for my own personal like ideals or beliefs. Where it's like somebody says something I really don't like, I'll call them out on it. Notice me, Theoden! I always notice you, Theoden. Yeah, I think it was yesterday, actually. Chazzer popped into my stream. And, you know, Chazzer seems like a pretty cool kid. No, I know you're not trolling. You're not one of the people I'm talking about, Theoden. I've had a few people over the past few months, like, hop into my streams that are trolls. And I was just talking about that a little bit. But, like, I'll never understand the mentality... Yeah, the mentality of what goes into that. Ah, crap, I keep running into the wrong Pokemon. Like, I've had people just hop into my streams and just start typing in racist crap. I've had people hop into my streams and just immediately start talking shit about the video game I'm playing. And then making fun of me for playing that game. Like, oh, you're playing Pokemon? How lame, how stupid. They'll say something worse than that, but, you know. Yeah, racist crap, sexist crap, homophobic crap. Like, they'll just throw so much negative stuff out there. And I do my best not to engage trolls. Yeah, they'll throw out stuff like that, like Pokemon's overrated. Like, they won't say anything else. They'll just hop into the stream. They'll drop me a follow, which is cool, but then they'll immediately type in, like, Pokemon is overrated. Why are you playing such a stupid game? And then they'll just keep talking crap. And I assume they're trying to get a reaction out of me. Yeah, so many kinds of craps. I'm sure you've seen that plenty in your travels through Twitch. I've seen that in other people's streams before, and I never really appreciated how crappy that is until I was a streamer and I started running into that. Because it's a real crappy feeling. Because you have to do your best just to not fuel the, you have to do your best not to fuel the trolls. So you have to do your best not to lose, like, emotional control. Like, if they say something really bad, you can't start yelling at them, or you can't, like, get very passionate, because that's just gonna fuel them and make them want to do it even more. But I am not really reading other people's messages. That's fair. That's entirely fair. For me, I'm mixed when I go into other people's chats. Like, when I raid over to somebody who has a really active chat, like, I won't read every message, because depending on how active, it's not possible. Like, I rated Sort of Malicious Gaming the other day, Ryan Haywood's Twitch stream, and he had about 1,000 people watching. and probably like 100 people active in his chat. So it would be impossible to read all of them, but I do try to at least skim to find like keywords that I'm interested in. Like the other day, when I raided over to Ryan Haywood, yeah, exactly. Like small streams are where I go to have like actual in-depth conversations with people. But there are times where I go into big streams and I forge a small side conversation in the middle of like 1,000 other small conversations. So I popped into Ryan Haywood's Twitch stream after I raided him, and I was just chatting with a couple of people like in the chat. And because I noticed a couple of key words, like they were talking about things I love. They were talking about like Stargate, Star Trek. Hey, there it is. I think it was Stargate in particular. And so I have a lot to say about Stargate. So I started talking to them about Stargate. They started talking to me about that. And, we started just getting our own little side conversation going. And that went on for like, I don't know, half an hour or so. But usually I don't participate in the big chat rooms. But it happens. But I tend to prefer, just like you, Theoden, I tend to prefer small streamers. Just because you can kind of get more of a personal one-on-one vibe with them. Even if they, like, I consider a small streamer even somebody that has like 30 views. Like 30 viewers at one time. Like once you get into the hundreds, I think they are not a small streamer anymore. But like 30 or less, yeah, I'd say you're a small streamer. So I tend to prefer both. I prefer to raid small streamers, but sometimes I don't have any small streamers I know online. So I just raid whoever I can raid. But I prefer to raid small streamers because I'm a small streamer and I like to support small streamers. Which is why I like to pop into small streams all the time. To give them my views, give them my lurks, and also just to send them a little bit of love. Though I have got to, I've got to check Twitter. I just realized this. I have not seen Beast Mode Brit streaming in quite a while, and I hope he's okay. Beast Mode Brit was probably the first person that I met through the small streamer community on Twitter. And he rated my streams a bunch of times. I rated his streams a bunch of times. He's a really cool guy. I have not seen him stream in probably a month and a half, maybe longer. And that hadn't even occurred to me until just this moment. So I'm going to have to look into that because I liked him. He was a very nice guy. I hope he's okay. Maybe he's just streaming at different times than, maybe I just never see him online anymore, but I hope that's the case. But I hope he's okay, because I'd hate if something bad happened. Ah, nice. Yeah, I'm not as regularly as I wish I could, but whenever I have a little bit of free time and I have my computer turned on, I do like to hop into the small streamer community on Twitter, and I like to look at who's being retweeted, and then I'll pop into their streams, and if they seem like cool people, you know, I'll drop them a follow, I'll send them some love, and then I'll pop into their streams on a pretty regular basis. I've actually discovered a lot of really good small streamers through that small streamer community on Twitch. Like a lot of really good small streamers. And I said on Twitch. I should have said on Twitter. The same thing, basically. Oh yeah, Theoden, if you're wondering what I'm doing in terms of video gaming right now, the title probably says it all. But, so I'm just running around this field in circles because I'm shiny hunting. Hey, Slayer! How you doing, Slayer? It's been a little while. How have you been? Yeah, I'm just wandering around seeing if I could actually run into a shiny. Probably won't. And I'm not expecting to. But it'd be really cool if I did. So I'm just trying to see if I can get lucky enough to run into a shiny Charmander. Alright, let's see. But if I want to watch game, I'm going for whale streamers. Yeah, that's true. I never played this game. Slayer, decent. Ah, I heard a Charmander. There it is. It's behind the bush. So how you doing, Slayer? It's been a little bit. It's been a spell since I talked to you. You been streaming a lot lately? I don't think I've seen you online streaming, at least not while I've been streaming for a while. Although I have been streaming at really weird times this month because work has been making it real hard for me to do my normal streams. So I've been doing just kind of like whatever little streams I can do whenever I have the time to actually do it. Which has kind of sucked. I can't wait for next month where I can start to stream at my normal schedule again. So I can start doing my 2 to 6 o'clocks, like on a much more regular basis. But for like the rest of this month, I'm just going to be doing like short streams whenever I have the chance. And that kind of blows. Because I want to stream a lot more than I do. But I am not working today, so I'm going sleep now. Just came by to say hi. Hey, Theoden! Thanks for the stop by. I really appreciate it. Have a good night, man. Like, yeah. Have a peaceful, nice, good night. Don't be like me and wake up like 45 times every night you try to sleep. Because that's literally me every single night of my life. So yeah, have a good one, man. Ah, Charmander. Pretty good, and no, I might tonight. I've been super fucking bored all day. I have a lot of days like that. I've been bored a lot lately just because I've been spending so much time at work. And then when I get home, I have like no energy anymore. And so I just find myself sitting on a couch staring at my computer watching like a TV show. Which, you know, I'm watching stuff I love. But I'm just like, I'm dead because I have no energy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a lump. Like, bleh. That's one of the reasons I haven't been streaming, even when after I get home, I might have a little bit of extra time. But I don't start a stream right away because I'm just too, bleh. Like, I get home and, good example. Yesterday, I got home from work, and my back was in so much pain, I just had to lie down on my couch. Like, I wanted to start streaming, like, immediately when I got home, but, like, I was just dead. Like, I had to rest my back for a few minutes before I could sit up in a chair for a prolonged period of time. I can't stream Fortnite on my PC for some reason. Now, that's interesting. Have you streamed Fortnite on your PC before? Oh wait, I know because my internet's shit. Oh, that'd do it. That'd do it. Well, my internet's not too much better, Slayer. Luckily, my internet seems to be good enough to handle streaming. Because I've had very few hiccups in my streaming career over the past 5 months. Like, I've dropped a few frames here or there, but not that many. And for the most part, my streams tend to run pretty smooth, so my internet's good enough to handle streaming. But if I ever do anything else while I'm streaming, my internet will take a shit. So like if I load up a YouTube video while I'm streaming, suddenly I start dropping frames like it's my job to drop frames. It's funny how that works. It's like the bandwidth all just goes to YouTube or something. I can't stream, but Fortnite just always makes me drop frames. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that about Fortnite. Unless they have like a super high, like high-speed internet. Apparently, it's something to do with like the frame rate on Fortnite because it's a big battle royale game, and because there's so much going on because it has like building and crafting and all that. Supposedly, it actually wreaks havoc on your internet because the internet is. It like hogs bandwidth because it has to stay connected to such a big server or something. I don't know the details, and I might just be talking out of my ass, but I swear I read somewhere that was the reason that Fortnite could give people some troubles. Also, some people, it could also be a CPU problem with their computers. Like, some people's CPUs get overwhelmed by certain video games, depending on the processing power required to play those video games. And depending on the rig you have, it could just be overwhelming your computer, and that in turn is dropping the frames. It might not even be the internet. Because I've had a couple of CPU problems before that have caused me to drop frames, but my internet stayed strong for some reason. Computers, man. Fucking weird, right? I love computers with all my heart. I grew up with computers. I learned how to build a computer at a very young age. But goddamn if computers don't piss me off sometimes. Like, a good example. Slayer. Be right back, switching to PC. Alright. I'll give you an example when you get back. But yeah, I was gonna cite my Nintendo Switch as a good example. Like, I'll just say it right now, then yeah, I'll just say it again when you come back. Because I'm trying to fill any potential dead air with just doing a shiny hunt stream. I don't want it to just be my face while I'm wandering in circles on a field. So, the Nintendo Switch. Wonderful platform. I love the Nintendo Switch. My biggest problem with it has always been... Okay, my biggest problem with it has always been the lack of hardware, so not enough video games. My second biggest problem with it, which I only discovered once I started streaming Pokemon, because Pokemon's the first video game I ever streamed off of my Switch. Streaming on the Nintendo Switch is a headache under the best of circumstances. Because every single... Okay, if I'm streaming from my Xbox, I turn off my computer, I turn off my Xbox, I turn back on my computer the next day, and I turn back on my Xbox, the Xbox is still going to be connected to my computer and to OBS. So I won't have to change any settings, I won't have to troubleshoot anything, it just works. My Nintendo Switch, if every single time I hook up my Nintendo Switch to my computer and to OBS, it's a gamble whether or not it's actually going to work. I mean, it'll work, but whether or not it'll actually work for streaming. Sometimes the video capture won't work, sometimes the audio capture won't work. Like, suddenly the Nintendo Switch just creates problems for streaming. So, like, I have to do tests now every single time before a stream, just because I've ran into so many problems streaming on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I love this console, but goddamn, that's a good example of technology that I love, but that pisses me off. Slayer. Like, I've never had that problem with the PlayStation or the Xbox in terms of streaming. Like, not even close. And I'm sure I've ranted about that before on stream. Like, that sounds like something I would have ranted about. Alright, so neither of them are shiny. Hey, Charmander. Look, not a shiny Charmander. So yeah, I've only been doing this for 1 hour and 7 on stream. But factoring in all the time I've been shiny hunting over the past, like, I don't know, 5 days or so, 6 days, however long I've been doing this. If you add up all the time, I've done a lot of shiny hunting for Charmander, so I'm getting real burnt out on looking for a shiny Charmander. Let me tell you, Slayer. I can only encounter so many thousands of Charmanders that aren't shiny before eventually I just want to put my fist through my television. I won't, obviously, because that'd be stupid, but doesn't mean I don't have the desire to in my heart. But one day I will be rewarded, theoretically, with a stupid shiny Charmander. Which I will turn into a shiny Charizard, which is the coolest Pokemon in Pokemon. Besides, like, a... Hey, Joe Headshot! I love the name, by the way. That's a cool name, Joe Headshot. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow. How are you doing today, Joe? Hey, Joe, what do you know? It just popped into my head. That's from, what movie is that from? That's from a Haley Joel Osment movie. The one where he was a robot kid. What was that called? AI? Artificial Intelligence? I think that's what it was called. Jude Law in that movie. You know, like, his famous line in that movie is, "Hey, Joe, what do you know?" Well, whether or not you ever, like, say hi in chat or not, Joe, thanks for the follow, and I really appreciate it. So right now, Joe, what I'm doing, the title probably says it all, because I titled it both on Twitter and on the Twitch stream, but I'm just wandering around a field hoping to run into a shiny Charmander. With absolutely no luck so far, and I'm not surprised that I've had no luck. But, you know, no luck. And cumulatively speaking, I have put a crap ton of hours into looking for a shiny Charmander, so yeah, with absolutely no luck. But I still push forward. Now, the day I run into a shiny Mankey is the day I'm just gonna die a little bit inside, because I don't want a shiny Mankey. I'm not gonna catch a shiny Mankey. I will let it go because I don't want to lose my catch combo. And I don't want to have to re-get 31 catch combo. It's not difficult, it's just time consuming. That's like 45 minutes just gone right there. And then God forbid you somehow mess up the catch combo. You might have to potentially start over if you just accidentally screw something up. So yeah, I don't want to ever have to get the catch combo again until I'm hunting another specific Pokemon. So if I said this earlier in the stream, if I were to run into like a shiny Spearow or a shiny Rattata or a shiny Mankey, I would let it go. I would just let it despawn because I am here for a shiny Charmander and nothing else. Nothing else. With a couple of notable exceptions. So in the sky, there are Charizards and there are Dragonites. If by some magical happenstance one of them happens to be shiny, I will also try to capture them. Because a shiny Charizard is the same as a shiny Charmander for me. It actually would only save me time, because I wouldn't have to raise my Charmander to a Charizard. It would just already be a Charizard. And a shiny Dragonite would also kind of be the same, because I would love to get a shiny Dratini at one point, because I love shiny Dragonite. It's green. I don't know, something about that is awesome. So yeah, either of those I would capture, but I am here specifically for shiny Charmander. But I'm hoping for one of those other ones. Just because shiny Charizard would save me time, and a shiny Dragonite would be cool. But a shiny Spearow, shiny Fearow, shiny Sandshrew... too many S's. A shiny Sandshrew, a shiny Psyduck. A lot of S sounds. Any of those, I would just let them despawn. They would not interest me. And that sucks that I would let them despawn, but I would. There are a handful of shiny Pokemon I love, and that I would actively hunt or go after. Sandshrew is not one of them. Charizard is my favorite shiny. Rapidash is like one of my favorite shinies. So is Ponyta, for that matter. Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonites. Trying to think of some of my other favorite shinies. Metapod. I love Metapod as a shiny. Caterpie and Metapod. Not Butterfree. If I get a shiny Caterpie, I'm not going to evolve it into a Butterfree. I'm going to evolve it into a Metapod, and then I'm going to get it to level 100. That's right. Other shiny Pokemon. Shiny Greninja. Damn it. Shiny Greninja is pretty cool. There's a bunch others. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Shiny Camerupt. Most of them are fire Pokemon, because I love fire Pokemon. I'm trying to think of any other shinies in Generation 1 that I really care about, besides Ponyta and Rapidash. Gonna lurk and do some tests. Hey, cool beans, man. I probably only got a tiny bit left in me for tonight anyway, because I gotta get ready for work tomorrow. I gotta be up at 1 a.m. to go to work. So I've only got a little bit left in me, but thanks for the lurk while I'm here, buddy. I'll tweet out that you're going to be starting a... are you definitely going to be starting a stream tonight, or are you just thinking about it, Slayer? Because if you are going to be starting a stream, I don't know if I have any influence on any of the people that follow my Twitter, but I have more than 300 followers on my Twitter, so I could tweet out that you're going to be starting a stream and that they should check you out. Like, if you're going to be starting a stream. Let me know. Because I will happily do that. You are a cool dude. Again, I have no idea if I have any pull whatsoever. Like, 300 followers on Twitter doesn't mean shit. Like, none of them might actually, like, see my post. And even if they do, they might not even give a shit. But I mean, it's something. And you never know. Ooh. Alright, that is not a shiny Dragonite. It's a sexy Dragonite. Just like all Dragonite. Alright, get out of here. Spawn a Charmander. Come on. Hey, Charmander. Char! Yeah, so like I said, I've only got probably a few minutes left in me tonight. And probably for the foreseeable, like, little bit of time. Like, at least probably until I get a shiny Charmander. My streams are probably going to be largely Pokemon shiny hunting streams. Not very exciting or interesting, but, you know, that's kind of what I'm in the mood to do. Once I set my mind on something, I tend to push for it. Tend to, not always. Depends on what it is, I suppose. Video game stuff, I tend to push for it. Alright, let's see if that Charizard... Ah, nope, that's not what I meant to do at all. There we go. That is also not what I meant to do. Alright. Normal, non-shiny Charizard. Get the hell out of here. Hey, I see a Charmander. Not shiny, but, you know. Every time I see one, that's a chance to encounter it, get rid of it, and then potentially get another Charmander. See? And I'm starting to think this whole 1 in 315 is bullshit. I doubt it is, but it's certainly starting to feel like it. I just want a yellow Charmander. Well, golden yellow. It's a combination. But it's so cool. Like, a black Charizard is like the coolest thing. I don't know, something about it. I'm not even sure what name I would give it. I'll have to look at my my shiny Charizard on my 3DS to figure out what I named it, and maybe I'll give it the same name if it's cool enough. Alright, I think this will be my last Charmander. So I'll let another one pop up, and then I'll pause the game. And then I'll just leave the game in standby mode on the cradle. So that way I won't lose my catch combo. Alright, so yeah, that'll probably be it for me for the night, just because I got work tomorrow. But I want to thank everybody that tuned in and stopped by. Special thanks to Joe Headshot for the follow. And also, I always give special thanks to the people in chat. So, UW Slayer, Theoden Son of Thangle, Rainbash81. I think those were the 3 people I had in chat. So thank you guys for keeping me a little bit of company while I was sort of shiny hunting. So yeah, just quick closing statements. If you're watching this on Twitch, check out my YouTube channel. The channel name is Existential Turtle, just like it's written below my face cam. I archive all of my past streams there, so if you ever want to watch any of my other content, if you ever can't watch live, if you ever need background noise, if you ever want to watch me play a different game, I have a lot of stuff on there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/existentialturtle. I stream every day. Not as much as I wish I could. When I first started streaming for like 3.5 months, I was doing pretty consistent 2 to 6 o'clock streams, with the exception of an occasional like short stream because of midnight shifts. But this month has been real bad because work has made it so it's actually really difficult for me to stream. So my streams are relatively inconsistent in terms of when they start now. Sometimes I'll start at 12, sometimes I'll start at 2, sometimes I'll start at 4. Today I think I started at like 4:40. So, like, it's pretty inconsistent when I start my streams now. Hopefully that'll change once this month ends, like sometime in January. My schedule will return to kind of a normal streaming schedule. I'm hoping. But if you want channel updates, follow me on Twitter at Easton Roscoe. It's written in the bottom right of the screen right now. I always post before I start a stream what game I'll be playing, and obviously when I'm going to start, because I post it like right when I start. So yeah, I hope everyone has a good night, and I will hopefully see you all in the future. Peace!